I'll throw my sale on whenever I feel like it. I could do a Christmas Day sale on Christmas Eve. I really can. But you really do want to kind of take advantage of those kind of moments. You really, really, really do. And I'm definitely going to do it moving forward because I just told you I 10 times my income, like, and by doing nothing. And this was just only off of digital products. This had nothing to do with events. This had nothing to do with coaching. This had nothing to do with workshops. It just was digital products. So if you can make over $10,000 just on some digital products, why are you not doing that now? I don't know. You should be. You really, really should be. A lot of you guys are, y'all have so many different qualities and so many different skill sets that you really could pass on in the form of a course. Y'all hear me talk about it often because I believe in it. And not only that, it's needed. It's so needed in the industry. All you gotta do is look around. What they talking about is a bunch of questions. People asking questions. Why? Because they don't know. And a lot of you guys that has this information, I get it. You don't want to tell all your secrets. I get it. But some of it you are supposed to share, right? You are. That's why you were blessed with it, to share it and pass it on. But a lot of it, like, you can turn it into another lane of income for you, another stream of revenue. Like, why are you not? That's something that you don't have to really, that's your knowledge, right? Why would you not leverage your gifts as another source of income? So that is definitely something you definitely should be considering. I talk to you guys about it a lot because it's like, I think almost one of the easiest things I've ever done in my life, besides run my mouth. It's one of the easiest things I've ever done in my life. And it's something that I'm also passionate about. I love it. I could just, y'all see me on my tutorials. I'm in my zone. Like, when you really can, and when you see the glow on people's face when they teaching or when they passing on their gifts or anything like that, that is your zone of genius. No one can deliver that the way you can. I'm quite sure there's plenty of other tutorials around in this world, but it's none other like mine, because I am the only one that could deliver it that way, because there's only one Precious. And the same thing go for you guys. I don't care how many balloon classes it is. I don't care how many floral classes it is. I don't care how many draping workshops there are. If it's something that you are considering doing, is enough room out here for you? We can't teach the whole universe. Your people are out there, and guess what? They're waiting for you. But while you playing around, guess who classes they're in? They're in mine. They're in someone else's. They're in another course because you're not showing up. So your people out there, they just passing you by because they want what they want when they want it, and you're not delivering. You're not showing up. So get on the ball, right? Thank you. What? The camera keep making it look like my hair on the other side. Right. So get on the ball, because that is what holds you? Wendy, what holds you back? Like, no, I get it. Things happen. We have fear, all that, but I still have fear. That's when I lean stronger towards my faith. When I get them butterflies in my stomach, it's like, hold on, what we doing? I'm like, you want to know what? Nope, I got this. It's going to pan out. I got this, right? Thanks to Davita Joe. Right, like, this is it. Like, when you guys, Ada, if you have a class, right? I think you have a workshop, draping, maybe. I believe it keeps confusing me. Yes, like, go full throttle with your workshop. Like, it's how many of us teaching compared to how many people that want to learn? Like, let's be real with it, right? Like, it's space here for you. It really, really is. And you definitely should be teaching. Like, that's like one of the most natural gifts of all. Everyone can't really do it effectively, but when it's something that you're passionate about, and you're passionate about helping people and passing on gifts and leveraging and all that, man, this is like a no-brainer. Like, you can't pay me to do too much of anything else, especially when it comes to labor. Because if y'all didn't know me, no, I'm lazy. I don't do no lifting. I ain't got time for all that. But I could run my mouth. I can. So yeah, that is like your space. It was something that you twirling around. Why? No, if it's in your you got that little noise in your belly, guess what? It's not going to shut up until you do something about it. It's not going to go anywhere until you do something about it. And you're going to cringe every time you see your people floating into our workshops, right? You're going to cringe Absolutely. Definitely. Go for it. All of you guys, whatever it is that you want to teach, it's one of the most amazing. And I always try to push you guys towards teaching because for one, it's lucrative, right? It really is. But for two, it's so many people that need the knowledge that you have or your expertise. Like, that's why I tell y'all all the time, you are enough. Whatever you're aspiring to be, okay, fine, cool. Not saying stop aspiring, but just where you are right now, guess what? Somebody want it, and somebody will pay for it. I'm telling you, what I teach now, how I teach now, compared to how I taught 2 years ago, totally different, like totally different, right? I have so many different systems and gadgets that, you know, I'd invested in. But when I first started, I didn't have all that. But was I still teaching? Absolutely. Was my classes still filled? Absolutely. Were they still leaving with feeling overwhelmed because they feel like they got their money's worth? Absolutely. So I just wanted to say that for you guys, wherever you are right now, don't sit a bit and fiddle your thumbs and like you think it's not good enough. No, somebody want it. And at the end of the day, they don't care how cute it look. They don't care what the words in the textbook say. They don't care what your PowerPoint say. They want results. So if you feel as if you can deliver results for X person, then you need to show up. And this is your chance. Show up. And that's why you tuned in, because this cameras confuse me. That's why you tuned in, because you needed to hear it. So I'm gonna go on to my number two. You know, the number two thing that used to hold me back, it really was. And I also still had trouble with that, like very recently, like a few months back, right, was being financially tongue-tied. I can't explain to you how many of you are in that same place. And I know because I talk to y'all. I know because I coach a lot of you guys. So you cannot be financially tongue-tied when it comes to business, right? And what I mean by financially tongue-tied is when you're uncomfortable talking about money. You can talk about your services all till your lips turn blue. But when it's time to talk about how much your services cost, now you're hiding. That's financially tongue-tied, right? When someone asks you, well, how much is that? And you can't give an answer. That's financially tongue-tied. I cannot tell you how many times I was just uncomfortable with it. For one, because I was dealing with that mindset stuff, right? Not thinking, oh, somebody can pay, somebody really gonna pay me $5,000 just to hear my mouth? Like I didn't believe it, so I couldn't pass that on to anyone else, right? It's like when they say, "How much is it?" I'm like, "Oh, excuse me." Ask me how much any of my services are now. Y'all know a lot of you guys be in my inbox. I tell you the price really, really quick because I know the value and what I deliver. I know it, and how do I know it? It's not because I'm big-headed and I'm like, "Oh, I'm the stuff." That's not it. I know it because my people tell me. I know it because I'm so in tuned into my people. They let me know. Oh, that was amazing. Oh, that solved my problem. That is how I know. And that is how I am able to be confident knowing that I'm delivering something that people need and that is definitely well worth the investment. It's worth it. So when you're financially tongue-tied, you are really holding you. I will, sweetie, you are really holding yourselves at bay. You got to be so comfortable and so confident in what you have going on that you can say your price. And it don't even bother you if they don't buy your services. If they don't buy into it, you should not be so emotionally tongue-tied or so emotionally tied to that thing where you're like, oh man, I knew that was going to happen. When you start saying that negative self-talk, that stuff like that, that is really another thing that keeps you guys at bay. You got to flip that thing, right? When someone don't book your services, oh, well, your first initial thing should be they was not my client. That wasn't my client. Oh, okay, it's not me. It's them. It's not me. It's you, right? They're not your client, right? So if that's the case, then you follow it up with something else positive. Oh, another one coming. Another one is coming, right? You have to always be kind of optimistic. The minute you start thinking negative, that's when you attract negativity to your brand. That's when you attract the $500 people, right? That's because you are projecting that out. You got to show up and know you is the stuff, right? And you got to be so confident in what you have in your pitching. It's just you're going to transfer all that energy over to whoever you pitching to. They are going to feel it. And that's ultimately what makes them buy. It's the emotion. I talk about emotion almost every time I go live because it's the fruit of your business. A lot of you guys don't understand it. Take out what you do. Take out that you bake amazing cakes. Take out that you do exquisite designs. Take out that nobody cares. That I'm not going to buy because of that. It looks good. Okay. I am going to buy when I know that when I walk in, I'm going to cry. Most girls, young girls, grow up looking, thinking about that day. Oh, when I get married, it's going to be a fairy tale. People going to be flying in the air and all that, right? When you can help deliver that fantasy and they know that you're going to deliver, it's not because you brought in 50 white drapes. Don't care about that. It's because of what they're going to feel when they walk in that room. You're booked. You're booked. You guys got to really realize why people are booking and paying for your services and understand the emotional connection and how strong that is. And also, if it doesn't, if you aren't able to close, then quite naturally, it's not I knew I wasn't good enough. I knew, my services ain't up to par. I knew Sylvia over there could do it better. Like, no, don't tell yourself that. It's just they wasn't your client. And then someone else is coming. You always got to know someone else is coming because they do. They do. But you got to show up because guess what? When somebody else comes, if you ain't got your stuff in order, where they go? They're coming over here to me, boo. It's like, I don't do that no more. But they're going to somebody because the event still got to happen. So a lot of you guys say, well, I'm in this small town and, they're not spending that kind of money here. Yes, they are. You just don't know where they at. You don't know the ones that are spending that kind of money. And even if it's just 5, guess what? I'm going to be on those 5. I'm going to be on their doorstep. You got to put yourself in these places. You got to strategically put yourself in places where you can rub elbows with people that you ultimately want to attract to your life. Because guess what? Where those folk are, quite nine times out of 10, it's a whole nother room full of people that's very similar to them. I mean, just think about it. Think about it. When you go in Walmart, there's a lot of people in Walmart. I'm in Walmart, so I mean, I'm just saying, people in an area tend to they network in the same area. So you go to an event, and I go to now I'm going to like networking events often. Now I gotta choose them wisely, right? So I'll observe the panel. I'll observe who's participating. I'll observe who's buying tickets. Right? All of this is important because if I know, because one day my service is clearly going to be $30,000, but if I know that I'm trying to pitch to people that can afford those services, I should not be going to events that will host people that cannot afford the services. It's like a mishmash. And it's the same thing as far as your brand, right? If your brand is attracting, or let's just say it the flip-flop because it's happening more often on the flip-flop. If your brand is not attracting those higher-end clients, right? You can't get frustrated when Bargain Basement Betty come knocking on your door, right? If that's the case, act like Bargain Basement Betty for a second. Just act like her, right? Go through your process as a consumer. Figure out what's happening. Look at what they see, right? And I know a lot of us don't want to take the hard look in the mirror because I know I didn't when I'm like, oh, my stuff a little jacked up, right? But what did it allow me to do? It allowed me to go and make some major changes. It allowed me to go and look at my business through the eyes of a consumer. And I position and put things in place that I wanted them to see. That's what branding is. It's the attraction. Like, what are you attracting? I ask you guys all the time, like, what are you attracting? Because we talk about cheap clients and low ballers and hagglers a lot. We really, really do. And it just happens. Like, especially if you got something out there beautiful. Yeah, you're going to attract what you're going to attract. But if you really position your business where you want to primarily work with those that you enjoy, those that can afford your services, those that's not asking for discounts, those that's just don't sit there and nitpick it. Oh, I don't want pink. You gotta seek out a higher quality type of person. And higher quality may not necessarily mean rich, wealthy, all that good stuff, right? I like working with people that don't ask me a bunch of questions. Asking me some is okay, but like the nitpicking, I can't do that. Because for one, when you hire, this is my type. Everybody may not be like this, but when you hire, I hire specialists, right? Meaning I hire people that's good at what they do. I no longer look for people that's trying to train and learn, only because, one, I don't have time. So if I'm hiring for something, obviously there's a loophole, there's a gap. I need somebody to fill that gap, meaning you're great at what you do. So I trust you, right? I trust you. Hey, I'm gonna tell you what the deliverables are. I trust you to get it done. That is the kind of people I like working with. Someone that would sit back and nitpick every little process of what you, that's too much. No, you hired me to do a specific job, right? Meaning you trust me to do a specific job. And that's what I mean by like higher quality people. That's just what it is. So you really got to be, you got to know your target audience. I know a lot of, well, when I was doing decor, I know I seeked out people that didn't have time to, you know, they were working and they had six-figure households, right? So they had the money, and when they asked a bunch of questions and they also didn't have the time, you know, for me, that made an easy target, easy. All I had to do was show up and really give them an idea of what they were getting. 9 times out of 10, they already seen it in my portfolio, right? So those kind of people, they don't have time. They have the money. They looking for quick resolution, right? That was my target. There was some other stuff, but that primarily was what I was seeking out when I was doing design. It was real easy. It was real easy. So yeah, that's it. As far as number 2 is being financially tongue-tied. Like you have to ask for the sale. Now, and I never really did this before, but now every time I send you guys an email, those that's on my list, every time I'm on a live, every time I exist, period, I always have a call to action. Always. And that's just being intentional about my business. I ultimately, like Ada just asked about my coaching services. You got to tell people exactly what to do. People show up, like a lot of you ladies are here, because they want to hear what you got to say. But not only that, they're looking for resolve. They're looking for some resolution. They want more. So how do you give them more? You got to give them a call to action. So you should not be hanging up the phone with a prospect without giving them a call to action. Your language got to be so precise that they don't have to guess. They should never hang up the phone. You're like, okay, yeah, nice talking to you. All right, yeah, I'll talk to you in a couple of days. And they're like, I wonder when I'm gonna talk to her again. They should never have to guess. Anyone that you are pitching your services to should always know what the next step is. So for follow-ups is, okay, expect a call from me in 2 days, or expect an email in 3 days. Whatever it is, you have to say exactly what it is. My things would be, my call to actions normally would be book or schedule a breakthrough call. Because ultimately, some stuff can't be answered immediately. Like you really have to sit down and schedule some time to do that. But you have to tell people what to do, period. You gotta tell, you can't let them guess, because they're gonna just be sitting around like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to do that. I know, because I used to do it all the time. I'm like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to do that. And it's not, some people think it's playing dumb. It's not. Sometimes you just really don't know. Like you don't know a person's process. So you guys with these businesses and your prospects, be sure you follow up. Be sure you ask for the sale, right? Or be sure you are comfortable saying your price, right? 9 times out of 10, people get quiet when it comes to pricing because one or two things. You scared to, say the price you want, so you go low. And then you don't believe, you don't have the confidence to go high, so you go low, right? But then you're frustrated. You really want to say what your number is, and only you know your number. I know exactly what my number is, right? I used to be, I'm like, I ain't gonna say that. Let me go a little lower just so I could get the deal, right? Not today. This is the number, right? This is it. And if it don't go over, fine. It don't go over. But you guys got to bring that doubt out of your voice, because I hear it a lot of times when I'm on the phone with you guys. I hear it. And the minute I do, I'll tell you about it. And it's not to say anything bad. It's to bring awareness to you, so you know exactly what other people hear. Because if I hear it and you ain't even pitching to me, you're just talking about your business. Imagine what they hear. And I know, like me, soon as I hear stuff like that, I'm like, oh, they inexperienced. Their confidence. Normally for me, it's a red flag. Like I feel like I'm out of there, because I feel like it's gonna be a problem down the road. When you have somebody that's confident and they know they could deliver, they know exactly how much they charge. I love it. I love them kind of people. I love them kind of people, because they're about their business. They're about their business. Normally when somebody cringe and get a little uncomfortable, it's like, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? Right? So definitely. And my last thing that I was able to do, and I think this was like the biggest lifesaver ever, and we all do it.